There are two purposes to rewards: to reward non-use and to increase a period of non-use. So this first way is to reinforce non-use by catching it with a reward. So for example, he came home from work on time and sober, so have something ready, a positive comment, a smile, maybe a favorite snack that's already prepared. I worked with a wife whose husband drank every night after coming home from work. The only time she saw him not drinking was when he stepped through the door at the end of the day. She came up with this idea of greeting him at the door. She heard his car drive up, and she and the cat went to greet him. "Hi, hun. You know, since I've been retired, me and the cat here are a little lonely during the day. I just want to tell you how happy it makes me to see you come home." She gave him a hug and a smile. Well, they went for a walk, and she fixed them some dinner, and he didn't start drinking until 8 o'clock that night. 4 hours together without alcohol in the mix, and the opportunity for both of them to remember how close and loving they could be. It was huge. The second way to use a reward is to plan a reward to increase the time your loved one doesn't use. It's essentially the same as the first principle, but involves some planning ahead. With this, you consider a time when your loved one typically doesn't use or may be triggered to use. So you made a list of these in your key observation exercise, and you think through how you can intervene with rewards to increase that period of non-use or delay the start of use. So here's an example. Peter, a chronic alcoholic, doesn't drink when he golfs. He actually looks on with disdain at those who drink when they golf. For Peter, golfing is a sober behavior that competes with his use. Can you find a way to increase the amount Peter golfs? For others, it's making money or being seen as responsible at work, or perhaps your loved one occasionally goes to the gym sober. Can you find a way to make the gym more attractive to your loved one? So you're going to want to start by identifying a period of non-using behavior from your key observation exercises. Either a period where your loved one occasionally doesn't use, or a scenario that often leads to their using. Remember, we called them internal and external triggers. Choose a scenario that you can get ahead of and possibly delay or prevent through your actions. So pick a scenario in which you are present so that you can create changes in the scenario. So for example, if your daughter doesn't use heroin prior to seeing her probation officer because she's urine tested, you could develop a strategy for what to do right after her appointment since you drive her to it. So a few points to remember. First is the definition of use. Just before starting to use, when there's little chance you can turn that around. So for instance, maybe your son's going out to a bar and you in the past have just had arguments with him and there's no point in trying to get in there and change his mind. The actual period of use, and then that period after use when they're hungover or withdrawing. If your loved one is using, follow the suggestions spelled out in Module 6 when your loved one uses. 2, if your loved one appears to be always high or drunk, we provide a case example of how to use rewards in the supplement. If your loved one wants to try moderating their use, click on My Loved One Wants to Try Moderating Their Use in the supplement to learn how to modify this work for these circumstances.